as you develop as a contractor, as a contractor, your job is simple. Ultimately, once you break it down to its simplest form, you're a negotiator. You negotiate a price to perform a set of services for a customer. So you have to become good at negotiating, or you won't be successful as a contractor. I promise you this. Not unless you have somebody do it for you. And some guys do. If you got that type of money, great. But most guys do their own negotiations, sell their own jobs. At some point in time, you will start. It's a beautiful day here in Kentucky. It's a little cloudy. Let me see that first off. A little cloudy today here in Kentucky. Let me first say, my name's Anthony Ford. My brand, Paint Biz King. Something that I do, I make videos to try to help painting contractors come up to the level that I'm up at. I think that you can't keep anything. You have to give it away for free in order to truly be able to keep it. So I just make advice videos on how to handle certain situations, and I make marketing videos and this type of stuff, right? I'm a contractor in the Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky area, painting contractor. Oh, hell. There's actually a firehouse back there. Cool. I'll get back to the point. At a certain point in time, you're going to run into a customer, several, across your career, that have something that I call buyer's remorse. They've signed up, they've signed a contract with you to complete a set scope of work. And when that scope of work is complete and it's time to break out the checkbook, you will find that there is a certain breed of human being that becomes insanely picky at that time. And they will do anything, almost anything, to hold on to. They don't want to let go of that money. Now, there are some guys that are really, really slick at this, especially on larger contracts. And typically they're male. There are some females that are decent at this, but it's typically a male. That will try to negotiate with you, especially on larger. Oh, well, you dented this, you did this. Tell you what, I'm going to withhold $1,000, and I'll just pay you the rest, but I'm going to withhold $1,000 of your money because I feel you did this or you did that, right? Then you'll have people that'll sit there and nitpick every little thing. I don't want to pay you. I want to wait until you get all this done, nitpick all this, come back tomorrow, do that, and then they'll pick out 5 or 6 more things. You have to become good. You have to become great at dealing with these people. Because if you don't, your business will suffer financially. Because there's more of them out there than what it seems. 70% of customers, 80% of customers, you'll have very little problems from. Maybe they might want you to do some touch-ups or something like that. But it's that 10, 15, 20% of people, I call them free buyers. If they can get out of paying you, they're going to test you. They're going to test you to see if you're a chump, if you're inexperienced, and you don't have the resolve to get your money out of them. And if you don't, you might as well say goodbye to that money. This starts, how you do this, this starts, number one, with handling these situations. So as you handle more of these situations, you'll get better at it. But there are some things that you can do inside of your contract with the consumer that can almost make it a hassle for them not to pay you. Years ago, I talked to a lawyer and I said, hey, I want to put together something that I can slide into my contract that makes it a big deal if the customer doesn't pay me. And his answer was very swift. That's simple, he said. A compounding daily late fee. Stick with me here. What we put in our contracts is, hey, if you don't pay your invoice, and always invoice them, because that's the formal request for the funds, always invoice them. If you don't pay your invoice within 48 hours, you have a $25 late fee per day. Okay? This late fee is compounding and never ending. Now, I don't know how many of you understand the power of compounding, but it starts at 25 bucks, and by day 20, maybe not even that, you own their house. You own their belongings. And some of you might say, well, this has got to be illegal, right? Well, I've actually had my contract tested. It was in the state of Indiana. A couple didn't want to pay me. I mentioned the compounding late fee to them. They contacted a lawyer. Within 48 hours, those customers were contacting me, begging me to take payment. Begging me. Please take payment today. Please take payment today. Please take payment today. That lawyer called me. He said, hey, I don't know how you came up with this late fee in your contract. He said, but it's genius. It's genius. I just wanted to let you know that's a genius late fee. It puts them in a situation where without payment, they owe you financially, majorly. So the first thing is to get them in that situation. This ends a lot of this nonsense back and forth. You can say, okay, well, hey, if we damage something, that's an insurance claim. We can make that, but your invoice is due today, right? But then the other thing that you have to do is you have to become good at talking to them. You don't want to use that avenue unless you know right away, hey, these people are blatantly going to try not to pay. You need to become good. Practice your personal skills where you talk to them and say, listen, if you have some type of issues, we'll always resolve it. You know, have a policy in your contract that says, hey, once the contractor deems that the job is complete, we will then do a pass-through. The customer can raise objections, right? And we will complete the touch-ups or repaints of any objected areas at the end of the project that day, if possible, right? We're going to write down the objections on paper so that they're all laid out. And once that is finalized, there cannot be any more objections. Payment is due. Okay? So there are things that you can put into your contract that when this situation comes up, you can always say to the customer, well, hey, let's default back to what our agreement says. Let's default back to the contract, to our agreement that we made to each other, that we signed to each other. It is the constitution of our transaction. Let's go in and see what the constitution of our transaction says. And if you put those things in there, then you're leaving them no choice but to pay you. But also, again, focus on your personal skills. Be kind but firm until you can't no more. Until you have to come and say, hey, at a certain point, there are people where you will have to come. You will have to come firm and say, look, you're going to pay me. I'm here today. I want my money. You're going to have to pay me. Okay? That's going to happen to you as a contractor. You're going to have to step up, grow the kahunas, and do it. I talk to guys every day that have people that owe them for weeks and months. Oh, I've called him. I've tried to get him to... No. No. Knock on the door. Hey, here's your contract. We completed this work for you. We're here to take payment now. Right? You have to grow into that man. Because if you don't, people will take advantage of you. Anyways, just a short advice video. You guys can take it or leave it. Signing off from Kentucky.